Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today I'm joined by TortugaPower. How are you doing today, Tortuga?
I'm doing excellent. I'm ready to drop some nukes.
The other night you were telling me this is what you've dreamt about your entire life, is dropping nuclear weapons.
I always dreamt of thermonuclear war.
All right, well, today we're going to get a chance to do that. We're playing ICBM, a new game by Slytherin, the folks over at Slytherin. This is basically a modern recreation, well, not that it's that old, but a newer recreation, and maybe a more detailed recreation, of a game called Defcon. And in this game, in ICBM, basically the goal is to wipe out the opposing countries or continents or what have you in a reign of nuclear hellfire.
That's right. And you just score a bunch of points by killing all the populations. I guess the goal is to kill more of the enemy population than you lose yourself by some scoring mechanism.
Yeah, I mean,
we're gonna have a pretty hard time because we're going 2v4, hoping that maybe that will lead to a balanced game against 4 AI opponents.
Well, when I was playing the AI in a sort of a free-for-all, every country for itself, there were 8 players, me and 7 AIs, and I lost pretty badly, so I'd take that for what it is.
But you took that beating, and then you thought about it, and you come back twice as strong. And plus, we're using destroyers this time, so...
Well, and I'm America. Well, I guess I'm North America, so, can't beat me now, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, that's true. And I'm Europe, so I'm your buddy to the east.
This game,
I don't have any problems. It's not that I'm surrounded by both Russia and the Middle East. No problems.
Yeah, Europe feels like one of the most vulnerable starting continents, if you will. But this game, by the way, what you were talking about, hopefully you get fewer of your people killed than you kill of the enemy, reminds me of, what's his name? The general in Dr. Strangelove, where he's trying to sell the president on going to war, and he's basically like, I'm not telling you that we won't get our hair mussed, but I am telling you no more than 20 to 30 million dead, dependent on the breaks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was thinking about talking about the point distributions. I still have my default loaded up, but we've gone back and forth quite a few times on different potential starting strategies, and I think this is one of the first most interesting things about the game is you can kind of beeline towards something in the very beginning if you choose to redistribute your points, and we've kind of talked about that might be the ideal thing to do is put yourself as far down one path as you can, go with a strategy, and just go all in. At least that's what I'm planning to do. So do you want to talk through yours first? Do you want me to do mine?
Yeah, I'll go first. I'm not sure I'm going to go down one and go all in, but I am going to heavily focus on SAMs, sort of for a defensive strategy initially. So I have basically wiped out my air bases. I've gotten rid of the carriers, the submarines, some of the radars, and my initial distribution is going to have me building 4 destroyers. The main thought behind that is going Navy heavy for North America makes sense to me. We have South America and Africa turned off, and all of our other opponents are in either Asia or I guess the Pacific, right? Since you're on Europe and you're my ally. So my thought process is I need a good sea-based defense to defend my west coast from the Pacific region as well as from Asia, and then I need good radars and SAMs to defend from over-the-top, missile attacks coming over the poles. So I'm going to use destroyers to do that. To support my destroyers, I am also going to research some technologies. I'm researching SAMs, because without SAMs, your destroyers can't shoot down enemy aircraft or missiles. And I'm also researching cruise missiles. My thought process is the cruise missiles will let me outrange any enemy ships and allow me to pick off the enemy naval forces that start the game before they have time to research that technology, while the SAMs will help me shoot down any incoming planes from enemy carriers that we might engage, since I got rid of my own carrier. Additionally, I am researching improved long wave radar technology. It doesn't give me better engagement ranges with my SAMs, but it does give me better visibility, so I can hopefully quickly detect where the enemy warships are and hunt them down. And my plan is to launch a preemptive strike on the enemy navies in the Pacific and in Asia and try and wipe them out before they have a chance to build up to a point where they can threaten me, and I'll be able to outrange them with my cruise missiles.
Yeah.
I'm also building 2 megaton bombs and 2 nuclear bombs, basically just to use up my points. And then I am building a radar site and a SAM site, since, again, I have some leftover points. And I figured I'd put a SAM somewhere and start to build a net of SAMs across my northern borders.
Yeah, might as well take advantage of the destroyer meta before it's patched out, right? So I'm doing the same thing. I'm going to be really trying to invest in the destroyers and take out the naval threats right away. And your destroyers are pretty good at it, going and harassing even land emplacements, which are close enough to the sea. So I am also going to get rid of my carrier, my submarine, 2 of my radars. I don't know how many bombs I'm supposed to get rid of, but I'm also going to take the cruise missiles, and then I'm going to take. Actually, I'm going to take maneuvering missiles. So I'm just going all in on my destroyers, which means I'll grab another destroyer and another destroyer, and I have 7 points remaining. So we'll get 3 megaton bombs and another nuke. So that leaves me with 1 airbase, 5 destroyers, 1 radar, 9 nukes, and 3 megaton bombs, plus the 2 cruise missiles. So the big disadvantage is I'm not going to have my destroyers won't have the ability to shoot down enemy aircraft. And as I've already discovered, maybe it's a little stupid. I don't know if you're laughing at me, THG, but because I just did this and it didn't work out because all my destroyers were destroyed by aircraft. But I think I can make it work this time.
Well, I mean, you'll just have to make sure to invest in the SAMs somewhat early on.
Yeah, right away.
To hopefully prevent you from losing a bunch of investment. I'm going a little more balanced. I think you're going a little bit more offensive focus. I will say destroyers are an interesting choice with you playing as Europe because you've got land borders and a lot of, most of the missiles are going to come at you from over the land, not over the water. So I'm curious to see how it plays out for you. I hope you survive. We're on the same team, so, if I do well,
you're rooting for me. But if nothing else, I mean, if things start going to hell over here, at least you can hope that they'll focus on me instead of you. Just let all of Europe die so that America lives.
Yeah. Okay.
Your words, not mine, right? You said it, not me.
Yeah, I'm sure some countries in Europe felt that way during the Cold War, so that seems historically accurate.
Okay, I'll roll up my base.
With that being said, we are going to jump in here in a second. We're not going to have shared audio while we play the game, so we're kind of giving you this intro together, but as we jump in, we're going to sort of end this audio call, and on my channel, you'll just hear me. On Tortuga's channel, you'll just hear him. If you want to listen to Tortuga's side, make sure you're watching his channel's videos. If you're interested in listening to my side, obviously watch mine. Hey, watch them both, and you might see the same war from different perspectives. And we will keep in touch in the game's chat. So we'll have text communications that go back and forth, but that's where we're going to go.
Sounds good. All right, well, I'll catch you on the other side, then I'll start the logo.
All right.
Oh, wait, not everyone's ready.
I'm ready now. Catch you on the flip side. Okay, so we are into the game now. You can see here we're playing as North America. Tortuga is Europe, and we're against everybody else here. I'm going to go ahead and put us into global mode because I prefer the planetary view. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to focus on splitting my naval forces. I'm going to put 2 destroyers off the U.S. East Coast, or actually off Canada, I guess, in the north there. And I'm going to send those to go help Tortuga in his naval battles, and I'm going to send 2 on the U.S. West Coast to hunt for the Soviet fleet, which often ends up getting deployed near Vladivostok up there. Meanwhile, I'm also going to go ahead and put a radar site here. We've got the longer range radars, so I'm going to go ahead and put some radars immediately off the coast. I'm wondering, it's kind of a longer place to, maybe we'll put them a little bit further south here with our SAMs as well. I like the idea of an early warning net that's way out far, but I also think that it makes more sense to not do that for various reasons. But I'm going to go ahead and send my fleet over this way. Actually, I can join these guys in the fleet, can't I? I forget how you merge these guys. Are these one fleet now? Whoops. That's not what I want to do. How do I... There's a way to form them into a single fleet, and I can't remember how you do that. Sounds like Tortuga's already at war. So he's going aggressively against the... I guess the Soviet fleet is actually off the northern coast of Russia. And it looks like... Are my ships going together? They're not. I don't even remember how to join ships into a fleet. I'll ping Tortuga and ask. I played the demo, but I haven't played since then. Alright, let's send our other destroyers over this way. Meanwhile, we also need to focus on research and technology. I shouldn't be waiting too long on that. So I think what we'll do is we will go after... I'm wondering what the best strategy is. I'm going to go after ABMs so we can engage enemy missiles that might be launched at us. I'm going to put an 80% focus on research first, on science first. And then I'm also going to go for production. What are we going to produce? Let's produce some more radars. So let's produce 5 radars. That's 6. And then we'll produce 5 SAM sites to go with it. We may need to switch this up a little bit as we see how our fleets do. Let's see here. Alt-click. That doesn't seem to do anything. I'm not sure. In any event, it looks like he's already successfully destroyed. Whoops. You might not be able to have orders. Yeah, it doesn't seem to want to accept that. In any event, let's go ahead and send our navy up to help him. Although it looks like he already wiped out those guys. Working on ABM technology. I should probably go more offensive. I'm also wondering if sending our destroyers maybe south around the Cape of Good Horn would give us an opportunity to engage the enemy down there. Pacific is reaching medium-range ballistic missiles. Interesting. Well, that will give me a good strategy here. Okay, so what? Oh, we just built a radar. So we built our first radar, or I guess our second radar set. Let's hit the... I want to see radar ranges, so make sure I'm not wasting my radars here inefficiently. We'll put our radar out this way. I'm not going to need 5 radars with that kind of coverage. Jeez, look at that range. That's what the expanded long-range radar gives you. Well, that worked. Alt worked that time, I think. There's also a follow button down here. Alright, let's send our fleet. I'm not sure where they are. That's my thought process was this long-range radar will let me see where the enemy is and engage them that way, but... Now, one of the things to keep in mind is we are allied. Tortuga and I are allied in this game right now, but you are actually not... Why are we slowed down by me? We are not able to share technologies because we start the game allied. If you actually start the game when you're not allied, there are diplomacy options. You can't start diplomacy when you play like we did, where you have a setup of teams. But if you have diplomacy turned on and you're playing like a regular free-for-all game, then you can actually use diplomacy to form alliances mid-game, and then you can share your technology across allies. But when you start on a specific team, that doesn't work. Meanwhile, we did just detect an enemy carrier down here, so I'm going to go ahead and send these guys down this way, all the way into the South Pacific. We're going to try and knock out these enemy ships. I'm not sure if 2 ships are going to be enough to wipe out their carriers or not. Okay, so I don't have the long enough range, like the over-the-horizon radars, necessary to support ABMs, so I've got a little pop-up over here warning of that, which means I should probably focus on that technology, over-the-horizon technology. So first things first, I'm going to go with space radars, and then I'm going to queue up over-the-horizon next to get my ABM technology up to snuff. Again, we're going 80% research here, which means that we're not building up anywhere near as quickly as we probably should, but I'm moderately okay with that. I think I'm also going to deploy some radars here in the south as well. So we've got pretty good coverage around us with radar sites. I'm going to put one more radar here down south near the Gulf Coast that should hopefully protect us against enemy submarine-launched ballistic missiles or things like that. I might put one more radar site in Los Angeles and then put more of a forward-facing radar line along the North American coastline. I'm not 100% sure on that. We'll have to see. Meanwhile, it looks like we're still moving in on the enemy carriers. New technology introduced space radar. We've moved to over-the-horizon radar. All right. So I think I'm good with radar sets. Maybe the last one will. Well, and I'm now researching SAMs, or now building SAMs. I actually think maybe we build. I don't know if I didn't want to build quite so many SAMs initially. Let's build some space radars. We'll build 2. And then maybe we should queue up some warships or some aircraft or maybe an airbase. I've got these bombs, but I got nothing to launch them. I have no nuclear vehicles. Oh, shit. My destroyers are goddamn too close. Although my SAMs are shooting those enemy aircraft down, it looks like. And I just lost one of mine. That was dumb. Definitely need more. Alright, so we got one of their destroyers by the looks of it. Probably badly damaged their carrier air wing, too. We're engaging the enemy destroyer at long range. You can see we're engaging him beyond the range with which they can engage, I believe. So we lost one of our 2 destroyers. We're going to send the other guys south here, see if we can't hit the other enemy ships. Again, they can't hit us. They don't have this range, so we've got kind of legs on them. These are Pacific destroyers. I don't know where their carrier went. Sure. Oh, more enemy destroyers. They must have invested a lot in their navy. Gotta be careful not to get too close. How many hits can they take? You can see we've got SSM cruise missiles, we've got ABMs, SAMs, and torpedoes on our destroyer. Meanwhile, we've got 2 SAM sites currently ready to be deployed. Our research for over-the-horizon radar is complete. We will switch over to early warning systems. And then I think I'm going to go ahead and focus on improved short-range radar, maybe. I'm not sure. We've got ABMs. Maybe advanced ABMs are very expensive. I really think I need to start going down the missile route. So... Or we could go with aircraft-launched cruise missiles. We'll go down this route. Shoot. Early warning systems, and then we will queue up MRBMs behind that. No, I thought I was hitting the shift button. Damn it. All right. All right, so that's queued. So we're good there. I don't know where the enemy carrier went, unless I sank it and didn't even realize it. I don't think I did, though. Okay, Space Radar is ready to be deployed. So Space Radar gives us pretty good long range and visibility. We'll put these guys up in the north. I don't want to put them too far away. Alright, I should put these SAMs in places that they can defend population centers. Without the early warning radars, they're a little bit
Research complete.
vulnerable, perhaps. So who's shooting at who? Sounds like Tortuga's trying to close in on enemy land targets with his naval assets. All right, let's send my naval. I mean, he's scouring the seas. I'm not really doing anything with these guys up here. I wish I could like send him to participate with his navy. We could go around the Arctic and see if we can't squeeze through the Bering Strait. I don't think ice prevents us from moving here. I could be wrong. All right, so we've got MRBMs researching now. So the next thing I'm going to research is, after MRBMs, is, do we go with SSBNs or do we go with ICBMs? SSBNs are cheaper. I'm not sure. Let's actually go with short-range radar improvements to improve our SAMs and stuff. Over-the-horizon radars, we need a couple of those. Alright, space radar coverage. Should be good over here. So these guys cover that. So we've basically got the whole US covered by our space radar. That's just going to tell us if enemy satellites are up. How about you don't quite get so close there, buddy? Destroy these guys at long range. That's your skill. West Asian destroyers now. I don't think I'll destroy the West Asian Navy by ourselves. Oh god. Their cruisers have longer range perhaps than we do. Enemy cruiser. I don't want to get too close. Kind of micromanaging this down here. Do we see an enemy sub? Alright. Trying to, again, the hope is that we're gonna cause them to then invest in their navy to replace the losses that they're taking, to hope slow down their, oh shit. Apparently we can take a fair bit of damage, though. It's interesting, though. Every once in a while they fire a volley of missiles that seem to have longer range than the other ones. I'm not sure. Alright, we destroyed that enemy destroyer. Let's go after this cruiser. We'll turn back a little bit. I wonder if the cruisers just have longer range. Try and stay outside of its range a little bit here. Keep it on the fringe. Alright, so we researched ABMs. Nice, we destroyed the enemy cruiser. Their carrier's got to be around here somewhere. Can I bombard a city with land? No, it doesn't look like it. All right. Enemy airbase is up here. Let's go hit that enemy airbase with our 2 destroyers on the north there. Alright, so this radar is almost done. We'll go with advanced SW radar now as well. That's more for stealth. You know, we're going to go down the the SSBN route.
Research complete.
Once we get the SSBNs, then we're going to go with... Do we have SLBMs? Or was that what the MRBMs gave us? I think that's what they gave us. So I'm going to go with, I think... Advanced SW radar. I should really actually go down the sub route since I'm going to start building a bunch of subs. And then my intention is going to be to park those subs off the enemy cities and then wipe them out. I don't know if I can hit these guys from here. Like if I can hit the airfield from that range. I like Tortuga has apparently, wow, he's building aggressively. He's building a lot of SAMs here all along his border. He doesn't have a lot of radars. I guess the SAMs have their own radars, I think. But he's keeping that northern border clear. Let's change our priority a little bit. Let's go 40, 60, 40. I need these over-the-horizon radars to make my SAMs more effective. And frankly, I need more defensive weaponry. I'm also going to start building some SSBNs in a little bit. Not sure whether we need... Alright, let's put this over-the-horizon radar up here. I'm going to build a new SAM up here. We've got a bunch of targets up there the enemy could definitely go for. So let's build 5 more SAMs when this is done. And then we're going to immediately upon the SSBN research, we're going to start building a shit ton of those guys. Surprised that I'm not seeing any targets in the Pacific as I'm kind of going through these islands. Meanwhile, trying to take out these enemy bombers with my, or this enemy base, I guess, with my own 2 destroyers here. You can see our SAMs are going after these bombers, destroying most of them before they get in on us. I don't think any of them dropped any payloads. We're going for the airbase. The enemy SAM is... Oh, we just got the SAM. We just destroyed the enemy SAM. And the enemy airbase. Nice. Let's swing around into the Pacific now. See if we can't see more of what's over here. Meanwhile, our other guy moving through the Malacca Strait here is hitting this enemy airfield. Intel says there's an enemy carrier. We just destroyed an enemy airbase. These destroyers are a little bit... might be a little bit OP with these weapons. Alright, so boomers are done. So that's going to be our next focus. As soon as it's done, 14 seconds. Oh shit.
Research complete.
Our destroyer, yeah, okay. Alright, so I don't want to build quite that many SAMs. So I'm going to build 2 SAMs, and then I'm going to go heavy. God, these guys take a while. 20 minutes? Huh. The silent engines will make them better. I don't know. I think I'm a little bit too wishy-washy on my technology here. I think thermonuclear... Well, they won't make our... Ooh, we'll get SLBMs with MIRVs?
Ship sunk.
Oh, we just lost a ship. I wasn't paying attention. Alright, we're gonna go with the radars. Which one of ours got sunk and from what?
Research complete.
Alright, we'll put one of these SAMs over here guarding these guys. So I've got sort of a cluster of 3 SAMs around some key targets over here near Montreal and New York. And I'm going to build a cluster over here as well. Ideally, I can build a ring as well. Alright, so enemy airfields.
Production complete.
Alright, let's... I guess we should build some... Why is the production efficiency 13%? I don't quite understand that. Does it change if I go 100%? I guess we'll go 50-50 now. Advanced SW not that far away. We'll go with advanced LW next. And then we're going to focus on advanced ABMs. Give me... Alright, so I need more density of my radar facilities. My destroyer's just kind of making a transoceanic cruise here. I don't think I can hit anything from over here.
Research complete.
Okay. Tortuga is building a hell of a lot of SAMs. You can see his own warships are trying to knock out enemy SAM fields, and they're having success doing that. So he is much more thoughtful about how he's taking advantage or going after enemy targets here. Not sure his destroyers in the Baltic are going to overwhelm those targets or not. I've done some destruction. I've destroyed a few enemy airfields. I'm wondering if the Pacific has almost all of their assets in Australia, which also makes me wonder if maybe they've got subs off our coast. No real indication of that, but it's certainly possible. How quick do destroyers build? 2 minutes? God, 17 minutes for an SSBN. My destroyer... Alright, bunch of enemy warships over here. I guess we're going to go send our ships back this way. See if there's enemy subs. We know there's at least one submarine based on our intelligence reports. All right, this long range, I'm assuming it'll increase the range of my long range radar? Or long wave? Yep,
Research
slightly anyway. Okay, so now let's go with advanced ABMs. I don't really find a ton of value in mobile sites. And then I think we'll also go with... I mean, the silent engines are useful in terms of, like, getting my subs close to the enemy's coast. Powerful engines, if I was going to build a bunch more destroyers, would be useful there. I'm not going to use mobile SAMs, so that doesn't matter. ASATs don't really matter. I don't care if they see where my shit is. So I think the next route is probably going to be... I don't know if... So, do thermonuclears... So I'm going to go with thermonuclears so I can try and get MIRVs on my subs. Oops. Wasn't I already researching something else? Advanced ABMs? That'll be after thermo. Actually, no. I need the ABMs sooner. So we'll keep researching that, and then we'll go with thermos to follow. I need more destroyers to sweep these seas here. Maybe going with the... I don't know. I'm not sure. I'll have to see what the sub range is. Oh my god, that's a lot. Those are all attack planes? Holy shit.
ship sunk.
They definitely overwhelmed that destroyer. What's Tortuga doing, by the way? So he's got a bunch of destroyers. He's got a bunch of SAMs. He's trying to knock out the enemy SAM fields in front of Moscow, which makes sense, because if he can do that, then he can ravage Russia with his nuclear strike. He's got one airfield, so I'm guessing if he uses the SAMs to wipe out or if he uses his ships to wipe out the SAM fields, then his bombers can come in afterwards and mop up. Oh god. West Africa has ICBM fields already. That's not great. My defenses are pretty pathetic. Just a matter of who attacks me with what. It's less an issue of technology now, though, and more an issue of production, I think. So we're going to get our first SSBN, which I think I'm going to move into the med behind this destroyer and maybe target the enemy ICBM fields in the Middle East. Not sure what the range of this guy is. Is that it? Is it just this yellow? It's got to be longer than that. It's got to be longer than that. This is like grayed out, so I don't know if we don't have... Do I have to surface? Okay, so this has pretty good range. But you can only launch from the surface. So we're going to go ahead and send this guy into the med. I'm going to hold off on a second. God, this shit's going so slow. If I go 100%, which is preferable. My ABMs won't really do me much good for now. You know what I could do? Might be a cheaper route. How fast do destroyers build compared to... So a destroyer takes 1 minute and 34 seconds with current allocations. A SAM takes 47 seconds, so it's actually way faster to do SAMs. I just want to get this sub out of queue. And then we're going to build a whole bunch of SAMs. I'll have 2 offensive pieces. Oh, nice. He's attacking their ICBM fields with his destroyers. So that'll weaken the enemy's offensive capabilities potentially faster than they can build if he can knock it out. They're a hard target though, so they presumably take a little while. We've got intel on multiple enemy ICBM fields. His destroyers are... This is Tortuga's strategy. I didn't think it was going to be wise to have destroyers. And I'm kind of probably splitting my attention too much. But I think his strategy is going to end up paying off big time. My strategy's too defensive, I think. Going at the enemy and eliminating their capabilities as they build them seems like a much wiser strategy. It looked like Russia went more defensive. They had a lot of SAMs on their territory. It looks like the Middle East has gone more offensive. They've got a bunch of ICBM fields. Looks like he's going after enemy subs over that way too. All right. So we're going to put our second submarine in the water. We want to get it somewhere relatively safe where it can hit a bunch of enemy targets. You know, I think I'm going to send this one into the med as well. They can, from the med, they can hit a lot of these targets. It's just a question of how many SAMs the enemy has. We're going to blast through this production queue pretty damn quick. So I'm going to start building a network of SAMs here to try and cover most of our northern territory here. How many more are in queue? 4 more. bring it down just a little bit down the west coast to prevent like enemy submarine attacks against our coast. Then I'm going to switch my research focuses as well. Probably bring one down to Washington. There's more targets on the East Coast than there are on the West. I'm just more worried about the Pacific using subs against me.
Production complete.
Alright, so let's go back to naval. We're going to try and overwhelm them with destroyers, clearing our sea lanes, at least on the East Coast. We're going to switch our research back down to like 50-50. You know, actually, sorry. I'm so wishy-washy. This is, you don't want to play this way. Let's go back to production. Oh, god damn it. I want to... And let's go back to Sam's. The ABMs will be useful, but I should get a few down the East Coast too, because I really haven't... I think he's probably doing a good enough job keeping the sea lanes clear for me. Let's also build a strike plan with our SSBNs to target enemy... I don't know what targets we want. I guess we go with cities, right? Because that's how you win your points. And I think we'll want to focus on West Asia and then Russia based on our locations. So it'll be Strike Plan Alpha. I'm not too worried about enemy aircraft. Maybe I should be, but I don't think it's super likely that they're going to send a ton of aircraft against me. I think it's much more likely that they're going to send missiles against me, based on what we know about the enemy technology. Alright, so the East Coast should be safe. I don't think it's likely they're going to try and sneak any shipping or ICBMs or anything into the Gulf, which would be the only likelihood. And with South America turned off, there's no likelihood really of missiles coming from the south, so we can leave this path in here unguarded and just solidify our SAM belt a little bit further north to guard the heartland, if you will. Okay. I mean, I guess the one risk of coming south to north could be if the enemy has subs off the Mexican coast. The only likelihood would be, I guess, missiles coming from Australia could be there. Perhaps I'm taking too defensive of an approach. So to that point, we're gonna start building a fleet of destroyers to try and sweep down toward Australia. Okay. Yeah, I'm not playing the way I should. With these countries off, I should have a much more tight defense, not so broad. North America is pretty difficult, to be honest, in my opinion, to play as, because you have such a huge front and so many angles that the enemy can attack from. Every country in this game seems to have a pretty unique challenge, I think, in terms of defensive and how to hold your hold the line, if you will, against enemy threat. All right, everybody, we're going to go ahead and wrap this episode up here, so we'll pick this up next time. This was part 1 of our look at ICBM, a game that comes out tomorrow from the folks over at Slytherin. It is a nuclear war simulation game, a sandbox nuclear war simulation game, and we'll pick this up next time in our co-op game with Tortuga. We've built a ring of SAMs, a ring of radar nets, and so far it's been a little bit discombobulated, but I think things are going reasonably okay for us thus far.